Dear friends, I want to wish you a special Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat we'll be reading the Torah portion of Terumah, the first of 5 Torah portions that discuss the mitzvah of building a sanctuary for God, building a temple. For over 1,300 years of our initial history, we had in some form a tabernacle or a temple, a sanctuary, a holy abode, where we all gathered together to experience, and as it says, to see God and to be seen by God. Obviously not literally to see God, but to see God's presence as a human being can. As well, we read the second of the 4 installments of the special portions that we read during the month of Adar, and because it's the Shabbos before Purim, we read Zachor, which is about the mitzvah to destroy Amalek, to remember and erase Amalek from amongst our midst, from anywhere in the world. Today it's not literally. When we had a kingdom, it was literal. Today it's more spiritually, to get rid of Amalek. But I want to point something out, which I think is very important for us to remember, and that is that the greatest Jewish project of all time was building the sanctuary, building a temple. We took a structure, we built the structure, whether it was the movable one that we built in the desert or the most beautiful one that King Solomon built, the permanent temple on the Mount Moriah, what we call the Temple Mount today, where both temples stood, the most magnificent building of its time, regal, fitting for what its purpose was. But when the Torah introduces this mitzvah, the Torah, before it even tells us about building the temple and what you have to do, God says, "V'yikhuli truma," you gotta give an offering. If the Jewish people want to build a temple, if you want to be able to be transformative, if you want to transform the world around you, if you want to transform your life to a different level than what you are today, you want to fuse heaven and earth together, you want to accomplish big things in your life, obviously good things, it all starts by what are you ready to do for it? What are you ready to give? No worthwhile endeavor just fell on people's laps and all of a sudden it just came together. It takes tremendous dedication, it takes tremendous effort, and you have to give, you have to invest. Whether it's money, your heart, your soul, your time, choices you have to make of what to stay away from while you're trying to go down your goal. But for anything to happen, and especially to bring God in your life, to raise yourself up, to have the energy, the infinite energy of God in your life, to have the holiness of God surround you. V'yikhuli truma. What are you offering? And here we're told particularly there were 3 offerings the Jews had to do. 2 of them were a set price. Every Jew gave a half a shekel for the sacrifices, the communal sacrifices, and for the sockets, the foundation of the structure. And then the 3rd one was everyone based on what their desire was to give. But it was, what are you ready to offer? And when I know you're ready to offer, when you're ready to contribute something of yourself, now we're ready to build something everlasting, to build something that's real. You know, when a couple gets married, they want to build a new home, the question each one has to ask is, what am I ready to give of myself to my spouse? Because if you don't ask that question, you're not going to build a home that will stand forever, that will nurture a family, children, and everything you're trying to accomplish, and especially nurture yourself. So the first step is, what are you ready to invest? What are you ready to roll up your sleeves and make happen so that the abode that we're trying to build, the sanctuary, is going to be there. And that is why it's so fitting with the portion of Zachor. Amalek is something we try to get rid of. The arch enemy of the Jews, who doesn't hate the Jewish people because of something they feel we have done to them. Their hatred is based on nothing except they cannot stand our existence. The fact that we exist doesn't let them sit straight. That's what kind of hatred they have. Even if we don't bother them, we don't get in their way, the fact that we exist is something that they cannot tolerate. And we're told that we have to deal with such adversity and with such enemies, total obliteration, erase them. But yet at the same time, the Torah says, Zachor, remember. Why the act of remembering? Because even things that we have to say no to, we have to invest the time and the effort to get connected to what we're trying to get rid of, to understand what it's really all about. Not to just say, oh, I'm told not to have anything to do with it, I don't have anything to do with it. Why? What does it represent? How can I get rid of it that it won't come in any form back to haunt me? Zachor, the act of Zachor, a very important Jewish word. To remember. To remember means to apply yourself. We remember things that we apply ourselves to. If we don't apply ourselves, when you meet someone and you don't really pay attention, apply yourself to the conversation, you must probably forget most of the conversation, even the name of the person. But if you're there and you're listening and you apply yourself, you remember everything. Remembering is about applying. We got to learn to apply ourselves. We want to build an abode. We're part of building an abode is you got to get rid of dirt that's in the way or the negative things that are in the way, and you got to also bring the things upon which you build this beautiful home. And the Torah tells us what your contribution that you make is how it's going to define what you build. So as we get ready for Purim as well, let's apply ourselves. Let's pay attention. What are we going to do to make this holiday an incredible holiday? How will I get out of my skin, especially now during this pandemic, and just forget about maybe some of the things that bring me down and bring myself up to make the holiday special for me and my family, those who count on me. And when we do that, then we're building a true everlasting edifice that will really change us and change the world around us forever. So God bless you. And we love you all. May you have lots of success in building your temple, your sanctuary, your holy abode. Shabbat, candlelighting time in Montreal, 5:09 p.m. Have a good Shabbat.